Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I've got a snowblower that doesn't run quite well. It surges and sputters a bit. I'm going to start up the machine, show you what it's doing, and then I'm going to go through it step by step to show you how to fix this. And the only thing that's been done to it so far is a new spark plug. So let's get her going here. So you saw that surging. I'm going to take it in the shop now. So basically what's causing this issue is a carburetor problem. The carb isn't sending enough fuel to the engine. That's why it's surging up and down. Now to get into this repair, I'm going to remove the cover here so you have a better view of the carburetor parts I'm working on. To do this, you need to remove the 2 Phillips screws over here, the small bolt here, and there's usually another 5/16 bolt here, but it's rattled out. And I'm also going to remove the choke knob. I'm just going to use a slotted screwdriver for this. Get in between the knob and the cover and pry out. And I'm using a 5/16 socket here on my impact. And I'm going to remove the 2 Phillips screws here. And now under the cover, right here, you need to remove this wire. It's the wire for the key. So just wiggle it off here. And now just get that cover right off. And here's a full view of the carburetor. It is a non-adjustable carburetor. Now what I'm going to use at this point are these pliers here to just squeeze the fuel line so it doesn't leak when I take the carburetor bowl off. I'm just going to find the fuel line underneath, squeeze these pliers on it, and I'm just going to leave them there. Usually there is a fuel shutoff valve underneath the fuel tank, but there isn't one in this case. And what I'm doing here, first of all, is getting a sample of the fuel. I like to see what's going on in the fuel tank before I do any kind of repair work on the machine. So I'm going to take off the bowl nut using my small 1/4" ratchet and a 1/2" socket. So far it doesn't look too bad. The guy does want the carb kit replaced in the Carbs, so I'm just going to do that while I'm doing this. And here's the ball nut. It is a fixed jet as well. And here's the bottom of the carburetor bowl. It's not the greatest. You can see some dirt in there, some old gas, some green stuff. Now in the meantime here, I'm going to put the fixed jet in the small cap. I'm going to spray some Mercury Power Tune. I'm going to let it sit like this for a while. It's going to make it a lot easier to clean. So the gas has stopped dripping thanks to the pliers forcing the fuel line together over there. And you can see that there is a bit of moisture in that fuel. Now at this point I am going to drain more fuel out of the fuel tank until it's clear. I just want to make sure there is no moisture at all left in the fuel. Although the moisture I did see previously could have been just sitting at the bottom of the carb, I want to make sure there's none left in the fuel tank. And so far here it's looking pretty good, but I'll let a bit more drain just in case. And here's the fuel. This fuel looks pretty clean, so I don't see an issue in the fuel tank right now. Now here's a good view of the carb. I am going to remove the float. I'm going to remove the O-ring here. Very easy to do, just simply grab it, pull on it. I'll be replacing this O-ring, so I'm just going to throw it out. Now I'm going to remove the float, just hold on to it, grab the small pin here, and remember when you remove the float that the needle valve will come out with it. The first thing I do when I remove a float is I shake it. If I don't hear or feel the sound of fuel inside of it, then the float is still good. I am, however, going to spray it with some Power Tune just to clean this off here. I'll let that stuff sit on there for a while and then it'll come off easy. Now I'm going to use my Tecumseh tool It's part number 670377. It's a very handy tool when you work on carbs. If you don't have this tool when you work on the carb, you can also get a crochet hook. Just go to a sewing store. Here it is out of the package. It's very similar to my Tecumseh tool, and I use the crochet hook if I don't have the tool to remove the seat. And that's the needle valve seat that I mean. Insert it, push right to the end, and then pull back and the seat's going to come out. And this little seat here will be replaced because it is part of the new kit. And you've probably noticed I've got the blower upside down like this, and the reason for that is that it's easier to work on the carb. You do not always have to remove a carburetor completely from an engine to work on it, especially these Tecumseh carburetors. So the whole inside of the carb's not that bad. I will give it a quick clean here with the power tune. I'm just going to spray it on here, let it sit for a little while. And I have put a rag here just to catch the drips. And after it sat for a while, I grabbed these small wire brushes that you can get at a welding supply shop. And what I do at this point is I run the brush all around the outer part of the carb here where the O-ring goes. It just kind of makes a clean surface. This carb's pretty clean, so I'm not going to worry too much. If the carburetors are very atrocious, if they're really in bad shape, then I do take them off the machine. And now what I do is I just rinse it off with some carb cleaner. And it washes off all the dirt that the wire brush loosened up. And I'm just going to air blow it quickly. And now that carb is ready to be reassembled. And the kit I'm using today is part number 631021B. There is a link under the video to where you can buy this directly online. If you live in Canada, you can contact me directly. I can ship them out to you. Now in this kit you get the ball O-ring, you get the washer for the ball nut, the needle valve, and the little clip, and the seat. And you're going to have to assemble the needle valve inside the clip just like this. To reinstall the seat, you want the smooth part facing up. So it must go on your tool like this. You want the ridged part to be at the bottom of the carb. So now I'm just going to reach in, push the seat in as far as I can, and then pull the tool out. The seat has remained inside the hole. Now before I continue, I will clean the float here. I'll spray a bit more power tune. I'm going to rub it with a 400 grit emery sandpaper. Wipe her up good. Now I have to clean the bottom bowl nut, which is the fixed jet on this carburetor. And what I'm doing here is securing it in some vice grips. And I'll be using the wire wheel on my bench grinder. It's a very fine wire wheel. It will not damage the jet. And always make sure you're using safety glasses when you use a bench grinder like that. And now you can see how clean it is. Now what I have are some micro drill bits, and I like to run them through the jet holes. This one's quite clean. There's also a tiny hole here that I can get my small drill bit to fit in. It fits in there nice and snug. And there's also a hole in the center here that you can make sure is unclogged. And you might have to bring out the drill bit a bit more to reach down to the bottom here. And you don't want to run drill bits that are much bigger than the hole you're going through. If you expand the holes too much, your engine will not run properly as well because it will be running too rich. So at this point here, I'm going to put the bowl O-ring around the carburetor. And now I've got the float, the needle valve, and the pin. What I'll be doing is installing the float with the needle valve. And what I've done here is install the needle valve on the float in this direction. They do recommend to have the clip pointing toward where the air filter would go on the carb. And by the way, there are no air filters on snowblowers. Now this might be tricky, you might have the needle valve fall on you, but just be careful here. Just reach in, get it in there. Now get the pin started, line up the holes on the float. Now I've got the float on, now you want to measure the distance between the float and the carb. So just bring it down like this. And that's about the correct space there in between the carb and the float. Basically you want the distance of this part of the tool here between the float and the carburetor body, which is the same or pretty close to a drill bit that is 13/64. So if you don't have this tool, you can use a 13/64 drill bit to measure the distance. Now I am going to install a new float bowl. It's part number 631867, and it's the one with the smaller hole. Now all I need is the washer from the carb kit. Put it on the fixed jet here, or the bowl nut. When you reinstall a carburetor bowl, you want the flat part on the bowl here to be right above the part on the float where the pin goes through. So I'm just going to put it in like this. And once it's lined properly, keep a firm hold on it, install the bowl nut. And now just tighten it up. Use common sense, don't overdo it. It's got to be snug. And that's good. Now I can take off my clamps here from the fuel line. Now you can bring your snowblower back down like this. There is one last thing I want to show you before I do put the cover back on. And what I'm going to show you now is probably the most important part of the repair when it comes to stopping that surging. And what I'm going to show you is that you have to remove this small plastic cap here from the screw. It's going to come right off like that. Now you want to reach in with a screwdriver and take it completely out. Now you can put your hand right underneath and push the screw out. And now what I'm going to do is grab my micro drill bit. I think it's around 13,007" thick. I'm going to run it in the center here of the jet. These jets get plugged. You'll know when you've gotten through because it'll be easier to turn that drill bit. And once you've gotten through it like this, you can see in the hole here my drill bit. Then that's good. And now with my bigger drill bit, which is almost twice the size, I'm just going to run it through the hole here. It will expand it a little bit. Not much. And make sure you clear any debris from there. So now this little jet is clean. And now just reach down and install it. Okay, I've got the machine outside here. I am going to test it out, and hopefully that surging is gone. And some primer. And that's pretty good for me. At least the engine idles. A lot of Tecumseh engines do not like to idle. And by the way, if you want to increase the idle speed, just turn in this screw over here. If you want to decrease the idle speed, just turn it out. You cannot affect the air or fuel mixture of the car by playing with the screw here. It's just basically a mechanical screw to set the idle. If you want to set your RPMs higher at full throttle, just turn in this little screw over here. Be careful you do not go over 32 to 3600 RPMs though. Now I'll take it in the shop and put the cover back on. Now before putting the cover back on, I am going to spray a bit of lube here on the parts of the throttle. It just keeps everything smooth running and it stops everything from rusting. And now you want to get the choke knob through the hole here. And the first thing I'm going to do is connect the wire from the key to the terminal underneath the throttle lever. And now you can install the choke knob. Just push it in on that shaft here. And next, the 2 Phillips screws that go over here. Just leave them in loose for now because it's easier to line up the other holes on the cover. And then I'll come back around and tighten them all up. And you've got this small screw that goes over here. Or a bolt, I may say. And there's a small bolt or screw that goes right here. Now I just have these 2 screws left to tighten up. And every piece of equipment that leaves the shop gets a dose of K100, especially snowblowers, because sometimes they get a bit of moisture in the fuel tank. So that's it for this repair. Sometimes, even though you may have the same symptoms, you may have to replace different parts. Also, make sure to check your fuel like I did at the beginning of the video when you get any piece of equipment in your shop, or if you're working on your own stuff. So thanks again for watching, guys. Make sure you're subscribed. I put out a video every Friday. Also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and have yourselves a great day.